Hello students, welcome to our history class. I am Miss Annie Itur and today we are going to learn chapter number 9, Ancient Kingdoms of the South, part 2. So in the first part we have learned about the Chair, Pandya and Chola dynasties. In that we learned that the Chair, Pandya and Chola dynasties had ruled southern India, that is in the 4th century BC, and Muzrees was an important port on the coast of Kerala in the kingdom of Cher, from where export of spices, pearls, precious stone, etc. with Rome and the western countries was undertaken. We learned that the Pandava kingdom was the present-day Tamil Nadu and Madurai was the capital of Pandya kingdom. The ancient Chola kingdom flourished in and around Tiruchirappalli. After that, we learn about the Satavahanas, that after the decline of Maurya Empire, the Satavahana kingdom was founded by the king Sumukh, and the Gautamiputra Satkarni was the famous Satavahana king, and he had defeated Shaka king Nagpanna, and he had described a three Samudra Toya Pitvahan as his emperor, extended from River Narmada in the north to the Tungabhadra river in the south. And many more things we have learned in our first part. So today we are going to learn about the Vakataka dynasty, the Chalukya dynasty, the Pallava dynasty and the Rashtrakut dynasty. So now let's get started with the lesson. The Vakataka dynasty. The power of Satavahanas began to weaken by the 3rd century CE. So after Satavahana dynasty, Vakataka dynasty came into existence, and Satavahana dynasty was there till 3rd century CE. So in the first part we learned that Satavahana dynasty was started in 3rd century BCE, and it was there till 3rd century CE. Among the dynasties that emerged after that, the Vakataka was the powerful dynasty. It was founded by King Vidyashakti. Now, founder of every king dynasties are very important. First, we saw that who was the founder of Maurya Empire, then the Satavahana dynasty. So, students, you should know all the founders of empire as well as the dynasties. So now here the Vakataka dynasty founder was Vidyashakti, means he had started the Vakataka dynasty. He was succeeded by Pravinsan I. So after the death of Vidyashakti, Pravinsan I, he succeeded his throne and he was the son of Vidyashakti. So after his death, the kingdom of Vakataka got divided. There were two main branches. The capital of first was the Nandivardhan near Nagpur, and the capital of other branches was the Vatsungam, which is today's Washim. Pravinsan I, son of Vidyashakti, extended the Vakataka kingdom in the north up to Malwa and Gujarat, and in the south up to Kolhapur. So now here it's mentioned that till where Vakataka dynasty was extended, that is up to the north in Malwa and Gujarat in the south up to the Kolhapur. And that time Kolhapur was known as Kunthal. We have read that the Gautam Emperor Chandragupta II had married his daughter Prabhavati to Rudrasen II, the Vakataka king. So already we have learned that when we were learning about the Gupta period, that time Chandragupta II made good relation with Vakataka, and to continue this good relation he married his daughter Prabhavati to Rudrasena II, who was the king of Vakataka dynasty. Varanadev, a minister of the Vakataka king, Harsha Sen was a follower of Buddhism. So the other king of Vakataka, who was Harsha Sen, his minister Varanadev, he was the follower of Buddhism. Cave number 16 at Ajanta was dug at his instance. Now Ajanta Ellora caves were having numbers like cave 1, cave 2. So the same way cave number 16 there was about Varanadev was mentioned, or you can see written that he was the follower of Buddhism. Some other caves at Ajanta were dug and beautified with paintings during Harshasena reign. So during the time of Harshasena, caves at Ajanta were dug and beautifully painted. The Vakataka king Pravinsan II composed Setubandha in Maharashtri, a Prakrit language. So after studying the cave at Ajanta and after studying their painting, after that we get to know that in history what all things that happened that we came to know. So the Vakataka king, that was a Pravinsan too, he had written one book known as the Setubandh in Maharashtri, that is a Prakrit language. Similarly, Kalidas Meghdut also belongs to this period. So here we learn two important literatures. Firstly, we will learn that Kalidas is an important writer and he is a famous book. In that it is known as that Meghdut and his book were written during the time of Vakataka period. So here we learn two important literature, that was Setubandh, which was written by Pravinsan II, and Meghdut, which was written by Kalidas. The Chalukya dynasty. The Chalukya dynasty in Karnataka was a powerful one. The kingdom of Kadamba Kalichuri had become powerful after the decline of Vakataka. So after the decline of Vakataka, Chalukya dynasty came into power and kingdoms of Kadamba, Kalichuri started developing and becoming more powerful. But the Chalukya kings established their dominance over all of them. So at that time, Chalukya kings established their dominance all over. Means they took the power and influence over Kadamba, Kalichuri and became more powerful king. Pulkeshi I established the rule of the Chalukya dynasty in the 6th century CE. So from this line we came to know that Pulkeshi I was the founder of Chalukya dynasty and he had established this in the 6th century CE. His capital was Badami, which was earlier called Vatapi. The Chalukya king Pulkeshi II had successfully replaced Emperor Harshavardhan's invention. The famous temple of Badami, Aihole, Patadakal were built during the Chalukya period. So the Pulkeshi II, he was also the king of Chalukya dynasty. And what he did, he stopped Harshavardhan's invention. Harshavardhan was the king of Vardhan dynasty. And Harshavardhan had attacked on Chalukya dynasty. So Pulkeshi II successfully stopped that attack. If you see in the image, this is the famous temple of Patadakal, and if you see, it is very huge, which was built during those time, and all the sculptures and buildings during those times were very strong and artful development, and all this is mentioned in our history. The Pallava dynasty. The Pallavas were also a powerful dynasty in South India. Kanchipuram in Tamil Nadu was their capital. So whatever dynasties we have learned, all that dynasties are of South India and they are very powerful one. And Pallava dynasty was also the powerful dynasty in South India. And Pallava capital was Kanchipuram, which was in the Tamil Nadu. Mahindra Varman was an able Pallava ruler. He expanded the Pallava kingdom. He was also a playwright. So Mahindra Varman was a playwright who is writing the play. His son Narasimha Varman repulsed the attack on his kingdom by the Chalukya king Pulkeshi II. So the Chalukya king Pulkeshi II tried to attack on Pallava dynasty, but Pallava king Narasimha Varman successfully stopped that attack to happen. The famous Ratha temple of Mahabalipuram were sculpted during his reign. So the famous temple known as the Ratha means chariot, where kings used to sit during ancient time. So the Ratha temple of Mahabalipuram was sculpted during Pallava period. This temple has been sculpted in a single rock. The Pallavas had a powerful and well-equipped navy. During this period, India came in close contact with the countries of Southern Asia. Internal and foreign trade flourished. Yong Chong had visited Kanchi and recorded that people of all regions received tolerant and just treatment under the rule of the Pallava kings. So now, who was the Yong Chong? So in the last chapter, we learned that Yong Chong was a Chinese traveler who had came from China to India. And in India, he studied Buddhism by staying at Nalanda University. So in this book, he has written the Pallava kings were just treatment on every person. Means they were not having a particular regions, but they were following every regions and they were giving respect that they should, and they were not having any discrimination regarding any region. Means they were following all the region and respecting them. The Rashtrakuta dynasty. At the height of their power, the dominion of Rashtrakuta dynasty extended from the Vindhya mountains up to Kanyakumari in the south. Their power was first established in Maharashtra by King Dandidurg. So Dandidurg was the founder of Rashtrakuta dynasty. Krishna Raj I had the famous Kailash temple carved at Ellora. At Ellora cave there is a famous Kalidas temple which was carved by whom? It was carved by the Krishna Raj I. So up to now we have learned about the different dynasties that their rules that was in the ancient India. So in the next chapter we will revise the social and cultural life in the ancient India. I hope students you have understood the lesson and have got knowledge from this lesson. Now let us solve the exercise which is on page number 47. A first question, answer in one word. First, whose name did the Satvana kings write before their own? Answer is mothers. Second, the ancient name of Kolhapur. Answer is Kuntal. Second, answer in one sentence. First, name the ancient dynasties of southern India. Answer is the Satavahanas, the Vakatakas, the Chalukyas and the Pallavas were the important dynasties of southern India. Second question, after the decline of Maurya Empire, which local kings became independent? Answer, the rulers in North India as well as in Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka in the South India established their independent power after the decline of Maurya Empire. Now, the question number 3, answer in brief. First, write about the achievements of Mahindravarman. Answer. The Pallava king Mahindravarman was an able ruler and a man of learning. He had written a book on music. He encouraged painting, sculptures, and other arts. Second, what is meant by Tri Samudra Toya Pit Vahan? Answer. We find the description of the valor of King Gautamiputra Satkarni on a stone inscription in a cave at Nasik. He had described the words Tri Samudra Toya Pit, meaning one whose horse have drunk the water of three seas. Third, what goods were exported from the Muzri's port? Answer. The Muzri's port was near Cochin on the coast of Kerala. From this port, spices, pearls, precious stones, and other goods were exported to Rome and the other countries in the West. So students, that's all for today. I hope you have understood the lesson as well as the question answers. You can write it down, all these question answers into your notebook. Thank you students. Remain safe and God bless you.